This was the first notebook that I started writing in from last year. See? It says 2020. This is my notebook for this year. It's gonna say 2021. So why write things down? I mean, there's a notes app on your phone. These notes aren't synced to the cloud. You might lose the notebook. Are you gonna bring a pen everywhere you go? The best way that I can describe why I have a notebook and why you should have a notebook and writing everything down is by trying to deliver a feeling. Now think about when you're most lazy, you're most frazzled, unproductive, just like, just not good. Now imagine pulling out your phone, probably the same phone that you were actually procrastinating on, and writing things down. Is that gonna make you feel any better? Is that gonna make you feel productive? Is that gonna help your mood? I didn't think so. Now, imagine you getting up, going to a table, sitting down, opening up a fresh page on a notebook, taking out your pen, putting pen to paper, and writing something down. It's a feeling that's really hard to describe, especially on camera. But once you can create a real boundary between the physical analog world and the digital world, you're gonna be free from those imaginary handcuffs that keep you chained down to your technology and to the digital world. Some philosophical vibes right there. Let's lighten the mood up a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that I don't write things down on my phone or my laptop. I write a lot of stuff down on there. In fact, every single YouTube video, and this one right now, was written down, planned out on the Notes app. But for those more abstract thoughts, the things that you want to have a physical representation of, having a notebook for those ideas is where it really is key. You're not bound by a cursor and horizontal lines. On a notebook, you can write anything down, anywhere. If you spell something wrong, there's no red underlining telling you that the way you speak is not right. You're pretty much free. Okay, that's all good and dandy, but on a realistic basis, if you don't want to do all that, a notebook is a great place to just write down to-do lists, checklists, your goals, and that's the other biggest thing that I use it for. Because for me, if I'm setting stuff that I want to do in a day, that's a goal. If I'm setting real goals that I want to do long-term, short-term, whatever, I want to have a physical representation of it because that's going to hold me accountable. I don't want to not achieve my goals and just swipe, delete the note. No one is ever going to hear from it again. I'm going to write stuff down and I have something that's non-erasable, permanent, that can't go anywhere. So if I fail those goals, the only one to blame is myself. And also a side note, everybody who's great has somehow talked about a notebook. You look at the big minds of the world, Elon Musk, some of the billionaires, LeBron James, some of the most successful people in the world. And what's the one thing that they have in common? A lot of them like to journal. Putting your thoughts down on a piece of paper is a form of almost therapy, to be honest. And that's why it's so clutch to have a notebook, because you could put anything you want on here. Now back to this notebook for a second. I started this notebook on March 2nd, 2020. The day I'm recording this is October 3rd, 2021. So for pretty much more than a year and a half, I've been writing down things consistently on a notebook. Now I can flip through some of these pages and they're pretty much all filled out. And I can go to a random page, like let's say May 30th, 2020, and I can look back on how my life was. So on this day, it's some school stuff, some notes that were about my final exams. And the beauty of that kind of comes along with how some of those Snapchat memories are. You can open the book, go to any page, and kind of see what your mind was like during that time. It's almost like a notebook version of Snapchat memories in a sense. And the other aspect that's really cool, in my opinion, is that when you're going through something, it could be an amazing day, it could be a bad day, and you write it down, looking back at how your thoughts were in a specific day has a level of beauty behind it too. So basically what I'm trying to say is that there's so many uses for a notebook, it's kind of a no-brainer to have one. And if you don't, I just suggest picking one up from a dollar store, just writing it. Just write maybe just a little bit every day. Write about your thoughts, what you're thankful for, write a checklist for the stuff that you want to do the next day, anything that comes to mind. You could sketch on it too. That's the beauty about a notebook. You're free to do whatever you want. It's your own personal little world. Because then if you keep it safe, nobody's gonna go through it. It's you and yourself and your thoughts. All right, sweet. We actually made a whole video about a notebook. See you in the next one.